Alright, this is a money problems reading for Taurus. I know some people have money problems, some people don't. I know the issues. Um, but yeah, this is mostly talking about that for now. So the first card is going to be. Uh, I need to take my notes out. Sorry. Um, your first card is going to be what is the main cause of your financial issue. Okay, so we have the the Three of Cups in reverse. The Three of Cups in reverse is lack of intuitive nature, pettiness, and uh, I can't even read my own writing. Pettiness and mutiny. No artistry, money problems. So I feel like you might have been kind of playing this game like if somebody got something or they got something that like you wanted or that they're enjoying very much, you wanted the same thing and it might have made you insolvent, it might have put you in debt, type of thing. Like there's some type of thing that's going on that is kind of making you green with envy, but also jealous, and it played with your emotions so much. There could be an insecurity level you're facing or dealing with. But I feel like it caused a lot of problems for you in general. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. So so you might be dealing with your own point of insecurity with other people or how you feel in general in certain issues or under certain stresses. You want what other people have and stuff like that. So there could be something missing in your own life or something that you need to prove to self. Um, which, to be honest, you really don't have to. Everybody's in their own rat race of self. You know, it's point of self is kind of a hard thing to deal with as a human being. You have to deal with integrity, respect for yourself, and high self esteem, which a lot of people, like myself, stay on the low level of self esteem a lot of times. But in doing so, there is points of high self esteem and low self esteem. There is also points of integrity and low integrity. But with all humans, not just me. But yeah, so you kind of have to gauge where you want to be or where it's logical for you to be in a certain situation or relationship. So, anyway, number two, what is the current that it's you need to do? Okay, the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is love of wealth, obsession with possessions, uh, Mr. We have selfishness, inability to understand or support charity. So there could be points in which you're kind of um, like you might have a pride issue. Like if somebody's trying to help you out, you take it as a point of weakness in self and all this. But you have to overcome this yourself. Like you can't keep up with the Joneses or the Kardashians all the fucking time. You have to keep up with yourself and your budget and your checkbook. If you get it out of control, then there's going to be problems ahead for you that you might not want to face. You want to control the narrative for yourself now, but do you want to control your narrative if it gets out of control with your spending habits and you just not being solvent or not being ready for what happens after the fact of spending everything? Um, it might not be too good. So you're gonna have to learn something about finances sooner or later, aren't you? Um, but you do have to find out what you're spending each month on certain things. The needs, which is shelter, food, water, clothing to be presentable, as well as bills, that would be a need. Um, no luxury items like cable or Netflix and all that. I feel like you might be spending a lot on like luxury items. So you're gonna have to put that on a want list. You want this stuff, it would be a luxury to have. Um, can you get movies and stuff for free? Yes, you can. Can you watch them anytime you want if they're free? Yes, you can. There are channels and opportunities to get free watch times. Um, but like these subscription places are they're a little bit too much. But anyway, you're gonna have to balance your budget and find out what you're spending on what, because I feel like there's some point where you have to look at what you're spending and why and where exactly you want to be as far as money is concerned. Okay, so number 3, we have obstacles. Obstacles in your way. We have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands has been here a lot. So, an honest and homely woman, able to cure ills of the mind, a dark woman who is very secretive, secure, and charming, capable of love and affection. So, there's a fire sign, I would say, that's in the realm of. I guess this could be a wife, a spouse, a partner, whatever it has to be. That kind of goes into a aspect of playing devil's advocate. Maybe you spend a lot on stuff and then they're kind of like, "Where are you getting all this money?" Like they're doing the devil's advocate thing. It could also be a neighbor, it could be a family member, it could be somebody, but they're worried about you. They're worried that you might go broke and you might be living off the streets if you spend too much money. So they're looking out for your best interest. It might sound like nagging sometimes, but they're looking out for your best interest, which is totally what a friend would do. So, number 4, we have influence working on behalf of you. So, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is honest and true, unable to understand bad motives, fatherly and kind, yet sometimes quick to anger, educated and sympathetic, often a man with a close family. So I feel like this could be your dad. This could be a father figure that's raised you. Um, but this person is very angry that you're not successful, which I get that. I get it. With with fire signs, they want everybody to be successful. And through hard-won lessons, you get it sooner or later. This could be also a Leo energy. I feel like it's a prideful energy too. It's a Leo energy, a prideful energy. It's the leader of the pack energy. So the head of the household. And with head of the household, they always want their family to do well. Okay, that's a Leo thing. They want their family to do well. Um, so number 5, we have who or what will help you. We have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles in reverse. Inability to face reality, overlooking the obvious, intellectually and rebellious, loss or bad news. So I just feel like there's somebody who keeps influencing your decision to steer clear of debt and do the right thing. Okay, I feel like you might be like just in habits that keep spiraling out of control. You want this, but you can't have that because of this. And then, like, logic sometimes doesn't hit you exactly the way it should. I feel like there's like, I want this because other people have it, but I can't have that because my budget is this. But sometimes it overrides that, and you put it on a credit card or you take out a loan in order to get such items, and it could be working against you very quickly because your own jealousy or the fact that you want things that you can't have, and that makes you want them more, and then you go out and you do some really really bad things because you don't want to say no to yourself. You don't want to be that parental guidance for yourself. Um, and look at bigger and better things down the road because technology changes, things change, styles change, all this. So it's like, why did I even want that in the first place? It's going to change either year to year or every 5 years. Why do I need that, you know? But yeah, people, they question that all the time with people. Why do you need something that's just going to change within probably 5, 10 months, or a year, or 5 years? So depending on what it is, it changes from year to year or every 5 years. So it's kind of like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have money in your pocket, or would you rather have the item that's going to be outdated within a year? You know? So a bird in a hand is worth two in a bush. Okay? That means having and receiving. So it's better to have cash. Um, so anyway, number 3, number 6, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So there's a false front, overdeveloped ego, need to impress, evil and suspicious, vicious, and irresponsibility. So your outcome is going to probably be your downfall. You're going to spend too much and then you're going to regret it later. But right now you have an angle. I don't know why, but you're trying to make other people jealous of what you have. Listen, my grandmother was a Taurus, and like, she couldn't have clothes when she was younger because her parents were poor, or like their money was like being kept for like their um, okay, so there was 4 children in her family when she was younger. So she and her siblings would have little savings funds. This was during the Great Depression. Little savings funds for when they got houses. My great grandfather used to build houses for Pennsylvania. So, like, he would put money every time he'd be on a construction site into their bank accounts for their houses. And he would build their houses when they got of age to have one. So he got my grandmother one, he got my uncle one, he got my other aunt's one. Um, so when my grandmother was growing up, she couldn't have a lot of clothes or a lot of finer things. But her mother, if she could get her hands on fabric, she would make these gorgeous gowns. Like, she should have been a seamstress. My grandmother was a seamstress, but my great grandmother wasn't. Her thing was preservatives. She would preserve everything. She would preserve green beans in the garden, or whenever she got the chance to go to the market, she'd preserve those. Um, but yeah, she loved to be like the humanitarian that would like give people food. That was her thing. Um, because she didn't think people should go hungry, which I thought was cool of her. But anyway, I digress. So, with my grandmother going to college, she was one of the first people in our in our family to go to college, my great grandmother took it upon herself to find people that had old fabric or stuff that they weren't using, and she would upcycle that into these gorgeous gowns. These gowns, however, got on the page of Vogue. She got featured and all this stuff. It was really cool to see these old Vogue like catalogs and stuff and have her name on the front page of each gown that she was designing. Um, but I just thought it was so weird. My great grandmother was the type of person that would tumble into things, and she was lucky in that respect. Later, my grandmother actually went to work for Vogue. She made patterns for Vogue, but yeah, it was an interesting time, I guess, in the Great Depression. But yeah, my grandparents and my great grandmother were interesting people. And so was my great grandfather. He was more the type of person that was like the computer engineer of his age before computers were even a thing. So like he would look at a situation and say, "No, we can just tear the whole thing out and rebuild." So he was that type of person. But he would never like cut corners. He would make it precise so then people would have the best quality house that they could buy, because the housing market was, like people needed a house that wasn't drafty around the Great Depression, because there was a lot of people living in certain houses just to stay out of like storms and things like that. So it's very interesting to see what happened to some of those houses and things. There's some that are still standing today, and it's been 100 years. So yeah, with your money and with how you perceive the world, you do have to kind of look at things more dutifully. If you can't afford certain things, you have to kind of use your resources to get what you need. You don't really need money to survive. You need certain things that are a resource from another person, and then give them one of your resources. But usually it's a fair trade, depending on how people value things. Um, so, anyway, Taurus, your point of guidance or imagery for this week is garden, make a move. So I think either you're moving somewhere, or you're making a garden, or this is your first garden and you're making your own food, or you're gardening to survive. You might be doing one of the doomsday gardens, like I always encourage people to do. Um, Everybody should know how to grow something, because it's easier to trade when it's amongst people that are like minded or grow kind of a garden type situation. So I think you're going to be getting into that pretty soon, and you probably are going to start off with like green beans and tomatoes. But green beans and tomatoes are pretty good down here in the south, like they grow everywhere. But yeah, I feel like for your first garden, you should also try to grow a lot of different things. Because for some people, you'll be good at growing peas or lettuce or cucumbers. So you might want to have a certain arrangement of things, and herbs just to be on hand so you have something. Anyway, Taurus, hopefully this helped you out in some way, shape, or form. I will see you in the next reading. Take care of yourself, take care of everyone, and us. I will see you here in the next video, hopefully tomorrow. Alright, later.